Now, April is Autism Awareness Month, and we are going to speak to that. But with me this morning is Robin Edwards, who is a speech language pathologist and co founder of Therapy Works, and we're going to speak about from awareness to action. Good
Yes.
morning, Robin. Welcome.
Hi,
Thanks for being here
Gary.
again.
Good morning. Thanks for having
Now,
me
Therapy
again.
Works is one of my favorite segments because, we get to keep the public updated as
Yeah.
pertains to the different things that are available and information, education is available in
Yeah.
regards to disabilities and different levels of, awareness and stuff along that line as
Yeah.
pertains to that. All right. So, being aware is great. And, we have seen a number of awareness months pass by and awareness days,
Yeah.
and we observe them in many different ways, and you all have been here to share on a number of them.
Yeah.
But what is the next step? How do we get from awareness to action?
Exactly. So last month, March, was Down syndrome awareness, and we wore our crazy socks,
Right.
and it's great. April, we're moving into. I saw you all talk about it a little earlier. Autism awareness, which a wonderful awareness is great. Awareness is fantastic. We need to be aware that people are living and surviving and thriving
Yes.
with these conditions. But what else? How do we move from awareness to action? So that's what I want to talk a little bit
Right.
about today. So I have a few tips for the viewers. Step one, don't park in a handicapped spot if you do not have a handicap
Well, yeah,
or a disability.
That's great. That should be straightforward. But even up to last week, going to one of my local hardware stores, and big blue
Yeah.
handicap spot with the
Wheelchair sign in it
with the
and-
wheelchair
yeah.
sign, everything like that, and then a person drives right in, jumps right out of their vehicle, and then proceed to walk inside.
Yeah, I mean, and handicaps come in a huge range,
Yeah.
so I don't want to judge anybody. I don't know what was going on in that person's
Well,
life.
it was obviously wasn't a physical handicap.
It was not physical, exactly. But generally, that is how it's an easy, simple, conscious way that we can move from awareness to action. We are aware now that disabilities, people living with disabilities exist. Let's give them a little bit of a bly. Don't park in the spots, right? The next step is do some research. You've now heard the words Down syndrome, autism, handicap, disabilities. What do these words actually mean? Do some research. The internet is, it's overflowing.
It's
right?
rife with information.
So much stuff. Having said that, once you've done your research, understand that the person living with the disability is the expert. You're not the expert. They're the expert. They're the ones that actually live this on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
The parents of the children and the people themselves living with it. So, next step, ask questions. Parents of children with autism or any disability, they are much more open and they prefer if you are just naturally interested,
Right.
as opposed to shushing behind people's backs or passing your own judgments. Ask the question. Be frank about it. If you don't understand or know something, ask. Next thing was birthday parties. So this is actually a really big deal for kids and families with disabilities. Birthday parties tend to be quite challenging.
Okay. Birthday
Because-
parties for the individual or birthday parties in general?
In general, so not just kids, they want to be invited, they want friends, they want to be around people, their parents want their kids to have friends, but the sensory overload of a birthday party, the extra noise, lots of people, it can be very overwhelming.
Right.
So, or maybe your kid isn't friends with a lot of people in class, so they don't get invited. Please invite kids to birthday parties. Make some concessions if need be. Maybe a little, 6-year-old with autism, invite him half an hour early. Let him come before all the, happy
Everything
birthday
goes
drama starts happening, so that he's included. It is about inclusion, and we can promote and support inclusion just by making small adjustments. As I say, like inviting them maybe half an hour early if it's going to be challenging. Another thing you can do to support parents or people living with disabilities is offer to go with go with.
Right.
Go to the dentist with them, go to the mall with them. Sometimes an extra hand to hold a hand or hold bags is very, very
Go
helpful.
a very long way.
And supporting, you know.
Right.
All of these things, you know, teach examples to your kids about teaching inclusion and kindness.
Agreed.
You know, so be the example that you would like to see your kids be.
Yeah, exactly. Lead by example.
Lead by example. And these are some of the ways that you can do that. What else?
You know, and there are a number of things, a number of ways in which we can get into action and not just raise awareness. You
Yeah.
know, and you know, I'm thankful for all that you have shared, because again, there are very simple and practical ways in which you can go from that awareness step to that action step. You know,
Yeah.
something as simple as not parking in the handicap spot that is
Yeah.
clearly labeled the handicap spot,
Yeah.
and it's there for a reason. It's there for a purpose.
Invite friends. Oh, another one. If you see a parent with a child who's having a meltdown, who's having maybe a big reaction to something, don't judge, don't condescend.
Right.
Don't immediately assume that it's bad parenting that's causing that.
Right.
A lot of disabilities are hidden. You can't see them,
That's right.
especially in regards to autism.
And you know, it's better to support and offer your support
Yeah.
rather than to pass sweeping judgments.
Exactly.
Robin Edwards, I want to thank you so much for joining us this
Yes.
morning and sharing again, you know, as pertains to the area of disabilities and whatnot.
Well,
you know,
thank you for
and
having me.
Yeah, and it's always a pleasure having you. So we'll see someone from Therapy Works next
Yes.
week again.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to take a short break and come back with much more. Stay with us.